Welcome to the Colour Cave, everyone. My name is Jem and I like to play with art stuff. Today I have a viewer request video for you. It's been lovely to have feedback in the comments section, and I'm really pleased that people are starting to interact a little bit with the channel and comment on the videos and things like that. That's great, that's brilliant. I have been asked on a number of occasions about a video that I did way back in February, and it was the very first time that I had coloured a picture in front of the camera. I really did that video as a sort of dip a toe in the water to see what the reaction was going to be, and I had no intentions for it to be a colour along or a tutorial or anything like that. Since I only did a teeny weeny little portion of that video, several people have asked me when I'm going to finish it. Now unfortunately the picture is finished and it is a page from Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. Seeing as I've had so many requests, I've decided to go back to that page, call out the pencils that I've used and talk a tiny little bit about the techniques that I've used to finish off the picture. So if anyone is wanting to complete the picture in the similar style that it was started, you've got the option to do that. So I'd just like to give a shout out to Sally Ann, who was one of the first people to contact me about it, and also to Yvonne, who had requested the same thing via the Colour Cave Instagram, which I'll leave links for down below, by the way. So I'm just going to switch over now to the desk in the cave and I'll get everything out for you and show you the pencils, and you can see how I got to the end of the piece. The page that we are talking about, if you haven't seen the original video, I will put a card in the corner with a link to it so that you can go and watch that first, because there are a couple of pencils that I used in that first part and I call out the names as I went along. So if you like the look of this, you can always go back and watch that first video and have a go yourself. All the pencils that I used were Prismacolors. So if you don't have Prismacolors, you can obviously use alternatives, but I do call the names out for those of you that use those pencils. So here is the finished page, and as you can see it turned out quite nicely, even if I do say so myself. In the original video I did this first section up here, just this little corner. The foliage around the outside, I continued to use the same pencils. The only additional pencil that came into play was True Green, which is PC 910. And all I used that for was to lift some of the colour, because this green is quite pale, and with some of these leaves round here and these ones here, I just wanted to give it a bit more vibrancy. So that was the colour that I added into the combinations that I'd already used. For these yellow flowers, colour combinations that I used, first of all the centres, which are these two parts here and these ones down here, I used sand, which is PC 940. And for the petals, I used a little bit of the sand around the very tips of these ones down here, just to sort of lighten it up a little bit. But the main two colours that I used in both of these were peach, which is PC 939, and beige, which is PC 997. Onto these dusky pink flowers. For the petals, I used a combination of 3 pencils. The main colour, which is in the sort of middle of these petals, was pink rose, which is PC 1018. The darker part round the centre, which I don't really think you can see very well on the camera, that was rosy beige, which is PC 1019. And again, just at the tips where it's a little bit paler, I used Deco Pink PC 1014. Lastly, for these flowers up here and these ones here, this into my purples now. The paler colour here, I used Grade Lavender PC 1026, and that's the colour that you can see in the sort of middle part of these flowers, and I faded that out with Lavender, which is PC 934. These tiny little spots in the middle I just block coloured with the beige colour that I've used here. For the darker purple ones, I used Dahlia Purple, which is PC 1009, and In closer to the centre where it's darkened up a little bit, I used Dioxazine Purple Hue, which is PC132. I will say that I only used it very, very lightly. It is quite a dark colour and I didn't put an awful lot of pressure on it, but just enough to give a little bit of contrast between the outer sections of the petals and the inner sections. You can't really see again on camera, but in here, in the centre of these ones is the selection of blues that I'd used. The darker and the mid-shade blue in the centre here. In the centre of these ones, that again, that is just the purples that I've used up here. And did what I normally do in a sort of half moon shape and gradually fade it out. This border round the outside, which is done in gold, and if I just do that, you maybe be able to see it shimmer in the light. I used the Gansai Tambe Starry colours, and this comes in a set of 6. Now these are water-based paints, and if you are lucky enough to have these, the colour that I used was number 903, which is yellow gold, and all I did with that was take one of my Zig water brushes, which by now you all know that I very much enjoy, and that gave me the precision because it has a very fine point on it to work my way round. If you don't have these paints, don't rush out and buy them. There's really no need to do that. I have found that a good quality gold gel pen does just as good a job. I just really happen to like these paints and use them whenever I can. If I was using a gel pen, the one that I favour is the Uniball Signal. This is a broad tip one in gold, and I'll just want to show you on this little bit of paper. It is quite metallic and it's quite vibrant and it goes down well, but the point is still small enough to get into these tighter spaces like we've got here. So hopefully you'll be able to see that shimmering away. So they're just as handy if you want to finish off. Failing that, you can use a pencil combination to make a gold colour. If anybody's interested in that, you can let me know in the comments, and again, I'll be more than happy to help you out with that. The final thing that I did with this piece was put in a very, very pale background, and again, it does not really showing up in my camera, so I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the video. Normally when I'm doing something like this and I want a really subtle effect, I won't use a Prismacolor pencil, and that's the case with this. And the pencil that I did use is a Faber-Castell Polychromos, and it is the colour Cream. The reason that I switch over to these pencils is they are a lot harder and you can use lots of light layers, whereas I find with the Prismacolors, even if I try and use them as lightly as possible, I still end up laying down much more colour than I would like. I like to build it up so that it's easy for me to find when to stop, if you like. If you don't have this pencil, don't panic, that is not a problem. Absolutely not a problem. If you want to stick with the Prismacolor, then there's two other options that I would use in place of the Polychromos pencil. The first one is Cream, and you can see mine's looking a little bit pathetic, but that is PC914. That will give you a similar colour, but I will stress that if you want to go for the subtle background, keep your hand as light as you possibly can and just work in little sections at a time. The other option, if you want something a little bit brighter, is to go for the Deco Yellow, which is PC1011. That also leaves down a similar colour. It's probably a little bit more saturated, so that might give you a bit more of a pop in the picture. In terms of technique, it's pretty much self-explanatory. If you have a good look at this page, you'll be able to see what colours that I've used where. The one thing I will say is when I came to do these leaves down here, they are the same colours that I've used previously, but I just kept a much lighter hand. The darkest colour there, that's only 2 layers of pencil, and that's how I managed to get the difference between the ones up here and the ones down the bottom. So other than that, I think that's everything. I keep looking over it to see if there's anything that I missed. The purple tips on this flower are just the same as this purple up here. It's the Dahlia purple. And again, it was just to add a little bit of interest to what was going on. Hopefully that will put some of your minds to rest and you can get on and finish your picture if you were hoping to colour along. If you've got any questions at all, just leave me a comment below. I do always try and answer all of my comments. So thank you very much for watching, and Sally Ann, I hope hope this has pleased you, and now that you've got everything that you need to keep going on. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, that would be great. And if you like what you see, you can subscribe. We're always welcome new subscribers at The Colour Cave, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.